What is up, guys? Thanks a lot for coming back to the channel. In today's video, I want to go over the 11 steps that it takes to start an Amazon FBA business. So this is going to be more of a high-level overview. I'm not going to get into like really specific step-by-step. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. If I were to do that type of video, I mean, I'd be here for, the whole day. So if you want more specific strategies on some of the stuff I'm going to lay out today, then I'll be more than happy to do a separate video on that. But drop a comment below and let me know what you want to see. But with that being said, let's get to today's video. I'll be looking off camera a lot just to refer back to my notes because there's a lot of stuff. So don't think that I'm ignoring you or getting sidetracked. I'm just glancing over at my notes. So all right. 11 main steps to getting started on Amazon FBA. This is a high-level overview. Step number 1, obviously you need to set up your Amazon account. You're just going to need to enter basic information. Are you a sole proprietor? Are you a corporation? Do you have an LLC? You need to enter some tax documentation. Pretty much just all the standard stuff that you would expect when entering business information. Once you submit this to Amazon, it's going to take 1 or 2 days for them to approve or disapprove your application. If they disapprove, they'll let you know exactly what you need to fix. Keep in mind that everything is handled by robots on Amazon, so if they disapprove you, don't get pissed or disappointed. Just simply resubmit. Keep resubmitting it 10 times. It doesn't matter. However many times it takes, they will approve you eventually. You just gotta slip through the system. It kind of sucks, but that's what we have to deal with when we're dealing with such a massive company. So the second step you're going to want to take after you have your account set up, or maybe you want to take the step first, I'm not sure where you're at in this process. So the next step would just be simply to do product research, as you might imagine. And there are so many ways and so many strategies out there to picking a product. It's endless, honestly. It depends. Number 1, what your goals are. Number 2, what your budget is. And just so many other things. So the one thing I will tell you is you must have a system in place. And I've gone over this in a previous video. You must have a system in place. No matter what your system is, you must have some sort of a duplicatable, replicatable system that you can count on and rely on product after product. Not something that's going to be good for one product and then bad for another. Pretty obvious, but I just thought I'd reiterate it. After you find a product that you think is good, don't overthink it. You're going to want to find a supplier to source it, obviously. So what is the best way? Well, the easiest and most common is Alibaba, of course. There are other ways, though. There's so many other websites, guys, like DHgate. There's countless other Chinese websites like that where you can go find a supplier. Alibaba is what I recommend to get started. It's the simplest, it's the easiest. Those suppliers are so pre-vetted that you're going to very rarely run into any sort of issue with a supplier. And also when you pay over Alibaba, you're protected by trade assurance. You're kind of negating a lot of the risk involved with doing business with a Chinese supplier overseas. If you are more advanced, I do recommend going to trade shows. That can either be locally in China. I've been to China and it was a good experience. You can meet a lot of great people that you otherwise would not be able to meet just online. And the Chinese culture really values that one-on-one personal connection. So I recommend at some point in time you get yourself to a trade show like the Canton Fair, or even an online trade show. You can go online and discover trade shows and uncover suppliers that way as well. But to keep things simple, just starting out, Alibaba is the way to go. The next thing you're going to want to do once you have a product selected, once you have a supplier, you're going to want to do some keyword research on that product, okay? And this is one of the most important parts of the whole process. This is the foundation. This is what sets everything up on your listing. And it's kind of like a house. If you have a house with no foundation, it's going to crumble. I look at keyword research the same way. The way to get started with keyword research is to first and foremost always know what your main keyword is. And you're going to think it's obvious, but let me tell you something. A lot of times once you actually do the research, you'll find that you're actually kind of surprised that your main keyword is not what you thought it was. And my process for discovering my main keyword is basically As simple as it sounds, I dissect the top selling listings on Amazon that are already on Amazon of my competitors. I see exactly the wording and verbiage they're using in their titles. And you can make very educated guesses as to what the main keyword is. You'll see the same 1, 2, or 3 words repeated in virtually every bestseller. And so what you want to do at that point is take those 2 or 3 options, the 2 or 3 most obvious options, and then just dig one step deeper. You know, plug them into Google Keyword Planner, plug them into any other keyword tool that you have, and then just see which one is getting the most search volume. It's pretty simple. One thing I'm going to add is that, you know, the majority of your traffic is going to come from that main keyword, and all the other secondary keywords, the majority of your other secondary keywords are going to be derived from that main keyword. So that's why it's so important to get that main keyword nailed down. Now we're going to actually want to write the copy for your listing, the title, the bullets, the description, the back end. You know, of Amazon, guys, unlike Shopify or e-commerce via your own website, you know, Amazon is a fixed platform, meaning every single person on Amazon is restricted to a title, 5 bullets, and a product description. Everyone has the same stuff to work with. Unlike Shopify or your own website, where you get to control the sales process start to finish. So, knowing this information, we need to put a lot of effort and time into creating great copy, great selling copy, okay, that's different from all the other competitors, great images, great product description. You need to put a lot of time and effort into this, because differentiating yourself is going to be one of the most important things you can possibly do. You know, what separates you from the 1,000 other competitors selling the same exact products? That's what you have to have the mindset. Kind of leads me into the next thing. I already kind of highlighted it a little bit, is images. Images are so important, especially the main image. You're going to want to make that image pop. That's what gets the click. That's what increases your CTR. And you're going to want to split test and make sure you got that main image nailed down. Make sure they're zoomable. That's easy. Just follow the requirements. You know, 1,000 by 1,000, 1,200 by 1,200. Either one works. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure it's big enough to be zoomable. Obviously, you want to stay compliant with Amazon's terms of service. You know, even though there's so many people that don't, I still like to be compliant. And when I say be compliant, I mean I don't like to add text into my images, and I like to keep my main image 100% on a pure white background. So, you know, I'm sure you've all seen these Amazon listings with these crazy images, like a paragraph of text in the image, 5 images in one. You know, there's so many things that are in that gray area. It's your business. I mean, you can decide what you want to do, but there's a lot of gray area you can work with. You just have to make a decision. What are you willing to risk? After you have your keyword research done, your listing made, your product sourced, selected, all that stuff, now it's time to ship your inventory into FBA. I mean, that is so easy. It intimidates a lot of people, actually, but it's so easy. Let me tell you how it's done. So basically, you just create the shipment inside of your Seller Central account. Once you create the shipment, you simply download the PDF label that Amazon provides for you. You then send that PDF label off to your supplier, either in Skype or via email, so they can print it out. They print it out, they slap it on the boxes, and they ship it into Amazon. Amazon already tells you, okay, Amazon will tell you what warehouse to ship the product in and the address and everything, so you don't have to worry about that. Amazon does everything for you guys. A little bonus tip is, you know, as you're doing that, you know, also print out your actual product SKU labels too, and have your supplier slap on your SKU labels, you know, one label for each unit. So that makes things a lot easier. A lot of times they'll do it for free. I know Amazon charges like 20 cents per label, which is a total joke. You don't want to do it yourself either. You know, you don't want your supplier delivering units to your house and then you manually putting labels on and then shipping it into FBA. No, just get your supplier to do it. It's so easy. Most of them by now know exactly how to do it. They've been around the block. As soon as your units hit Amazon, they are ready to go. After your units are landed on Amazon, you are going to want to set up promo codes immediately. You're going to want to set up some deeply discounted coupon codes, either one-time use or group doesn't matter. I mean, I like one-time use, because it gives you a little extra layer of security. You know, for example, someone won't be able to go post your coupon code on like a deal site and have a million people use the same code. If you do one-time use, then each coupon code is unique for each person, which I like. Gives me a little peace of mind. And use those coupon codes to launch your product, to give away product at a deep discount to friends, family, on a Facebook ad, a Google ad, whatever you want to do. That's what those coupons are going to come in handy. The next step, guys, is to set up all necessary tools, softwares, if you have the budget, that is. If you don't have the budget, then don't worry about it. But if you have the budget, let me just give you 3 of my absolute favorite tools that I could not live without if I had to just drop everything else. So number 1 would be Manage by Stats. And Manage by Stats is basically a whole entire dashboard. It's a sales dashboard. It's basically like Seller Central, but a lot more organized and easier to navigate. But aside from that, within Manage by Stats is a service called Seller Mail. And what Seller Mail does, it's an autoresponder, email autoresponder for your Amazon customers. And it's my favorite. You know, I'm not a big fan of Jungle Scout's tool. I forgot what it's called. Manage by Stats is the best one out there, in my opinion. You can do a lot more with it, and there's a lot more within that tool that I'm not mentioning in this video. So I recommend you check that out. Number 2 is Splitly, and Splitly is a split testing software. You know, one of the hardest things to know for sure when you're coming out of the gate with a new product is what to price it at. There's so many theories, you know. The truth is, out of all those theories, no one knows what to actually price their product at. Okay? What price is going to give you the biggest profit? That's all that matters. For example, if I launch a product and I find out with 100% concrete evidence that if I were to sell it at $15 per unit, then that makes me an extra $1,000 per month in profit, then of course I'm going to do that, as opposed to if I were to sell it at $19.99. On the surface you're like, oh, I'm making more money, I'm selling it for a higher price. Well no, you don't know that for sure because you haven't actually tested it and gathered the data. So split testing is huge. Split test your software, or split test your Amazon listing. Basically what the software does is it divides up the traffic. 50% of the traffic of your Amazon customers are going to see one price. The other half are going to see the other price. And you can do this with more than just price. You can do images, you can do main image, bullets, title. You can split test everything. And the sooner you get that rolling and the data coming in, because it takes a couple months to really get concrete evidence, the better off you're going to be. So that's number 2. And number 3 would be Helium 10. Helium 10 is amazing. You know, it's a little more pricey, but it literally has a whole entire suite of tools within the software. So pretty much anything you can imagine. You just check it out for yourself. So after your product is launched, you ran your deeply discounted giveaway, you get a nice little base of reviews. You're going to want to set up sponsored ads to then maintain. Now you're going to want to maintain that ranking you just achieved with your product launch, and the best way to do that is with sponsored ads. Again, I could be here for a week straight in this video going over sponsored ads. It's a very complex topic, and it's very important that you get good at it. So that is about the last step. The only thing I have included in here as a bonus is, once you have everything rolling, all the foundation in place, your systems, you're going to want to optimize on a weekly basis your ads. You're going to make sure your price is right, your bullets, your everything. Just keep optimizing. Remember, guys, your listing is a living, breathing organism. It's not something that you just set and forget. You're going to constantly want to try to improve it, see where you're going wrong, see what's working, and go from there. Alright, so on a high-level overview, that is basically the process. I hope this was helpful. I know it's pretty high-level overview. It's not really specific, but I made that clear at the beginning of the video. So if you would like to see more in-depth strategies and tips on any of these topics I just covered, then please let me know below in the comments, and I'll gladly expand on it. That being said, guys, hope you got a little bit of value out of this, and I hope to see you on the next video. All right, take care.